download the actual pictures, you've got that. But the notes will help you organize your thoughts at least. Okay, so the next thing we need to talk about are the vertebral curves. And so your spine is not intended to be straight up and down. Can you see how we've got some curvature? So this is looking at the spine from the side. Okay? And so we've got some natural curves in our spine. The reason for that is, what's stronger, a straight pole or a spring? A spring is going to be stronger, okay? And so that's why our body is created. So fortunately, it doesn't twist around quite like a spring. Okay, but the whole idea about having a little bit of curvature in here is to again, increase that shock absorption factor. It's got some up and down movability as well. Okay, so that we can deal with the shock absorption better. Okay? Yeah, so basically it gives 10 times more strength than if it was absolutely straight. And the thing you want to notice is there's some anterior curves and some posterior curves. Okay, so the spinal curves have names. And so the cervical curve is called lordosis. So if it angles to the front, it's a lordosis. If it angles to the back, it's kyphosis. So that's the thoracic area. Then the lumbar is in a little bit of lordosis. And then the sacrum into the coccyx is a little more kyphosis again. We don't usually talk a lot about this curve. We talk a lot about the neck, the thorax, and the lumbar. Okay? So cervical and lumbar are both called lordosis, and the thoracic is called kyphosis. Now, I'm sure that you've heard a diagnosis of kyphosis. Okay, so this is, in essence, it's intended to be a kyphotic curve, but kyphosis is when you get, you know, those little old ladies, those little old men that have that really, the big humpback. Okay, so it's when it's way exaggerated that it actually becomes a problem, because can you see, if I'm here, I'm on top of my spine, and my spine can do a lot of the work. If I'm here, and you can try this, you can feel the difference. So if you lean forward, you can feel like your whole upper body's hanging off of this low back. Okay. The other thing that happens is you pull your anterior trunk muscles closer together, so they become in a shortened state. These are in an elongated state, so they get weaker as time goes on. So the more you hold this position, the harder it is to come back up to normal. Okay? And then eventually over time, what's going to happen is those bones are going to change shape to accommodate the new position. Once the bones change shape, there's no hope of going back. But if I'm upright on top of my spine, then I've got my bones to carry some of the weight properly. And so my muscles get a break. If I'm here, my muscles have to be working all the time to keep me from just plummeting right forward. Okay? So it's really important to pay attention to your patient's posture. Especially if they didn't have that kyphotic posture to start with, and they're just because they're not feeling good or they're generally weak or whatever. Posture is really critical, because if you're in a weakened condition anyway, you don't have the stamina to use your muscles in that way. Okay? All right, so let's talk about our vertebral segments. This should not be new information. If it is, we got bigger problems than I thought. Okay, 7 cervical, 12 thoracic, 5 lumbar, 5 sacral, which are fused together, and then 2 coccyx. Some sources will tell you 1, but basically 2 coccyx, and they're fused. Okay.